Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over first impressions of the fall 2020 season. Actually pretty hyped to keep up with the trend of really going with the seasonal shows. I started last season with the summer 2020. I did have a video on that. I thought I was watching a good amount of shows. I had 4. I then moved it up to 6 later on, and I'm like, that's a good amount. And generally for that season, it was, I would say, an okay amount. Maybe, 1 or 2 more would have been fine. Then I'm really, trying to get crap shows. Unless I watch season 3, which I never watched original season, so yeah, I couldn't do it for a lot of those shows. But this season, nonetheless, getting to the point of this, it actually had a lot of, new stuff to go and jump into. Honestly, if you wanted to just get a bunch of originals that weren't, they had some form of quality to them, you could get like at least 20 in this season, I would say. And that's pretty impressive. I really like that. I feel you could definitely get a lot of stuff. There's probably like 1, 9, or 10 for everyone within the season, and I find it really nice. So, of course, a first impressions video, I don't really need to explain it that much. I talk about the shows I watched, give my first impressions on them, and you call it a day. So I have the list right here. I actually set it up so I'm not looking to the side this time, which is honestly very helpful because I look like a freaking idiot. And, with all the shows, I can't be wasting a lot of time on this, or else this is going to be a feature-length movie. Nonetheless, I've wasted 2 minutes on the introduction. The first show I'm going to talk about is definitely one of the big ones, and it's a remake. Higurashi, When They Cry, the 2020 version, of course, because it's coming out right now. And I never watched the original. I think that's an easy way to preface this. So I think I have seen, barely seen, at least know that there are gruesome scenes from that show. And, when I did watch it, the first episode, it was pretty interesting. Horror-wise, it isn't hitting. Horror is often something that's argued about for not being as great in anime. Nonetheless, I think what it's going for is pretty nice. It has me engaged to the screen. Is it something I'm going to put super high? Not really. Is it something that's pretty solid? Yeah. Honestly, I like it so far, and it's definitely keeping me there for its runtime. One thing of note, the OP for this show is epic, in my opinion. I really like it, so at least I have that going for it. I'll be jamming out to that sometimes. So we'll keep this short. 1 minute per show, and this video will still be long as hell. Next show, don't have as many nice words for it, nonetheless. So I did watch a few specials and OVAs before actually going into this one, and it actually showed a lot of promise. It was very a high-powered, overpowered characters fighting each other, but it looked nice. It was generally pretty good. I was into it, but generally with this, from the first 2 episodes that airs, because there's 2 out as of when I'm recording, it's not that interesting. It's really staying towards the school. Of course, they're definitely going to set up action scenes later, but the current action that has happened so far has been very lame. And, the banter between kids in the high school isn't hilarious. Of course, there's way better things that are comedies in schools. So why would you watch this one with a vampire who doesn't really say anything? I don't know. There's literally a manga that's pretty much suited for that. A person who doesn't talk and is supposed to be hilarious. It's called Comey Can't Communicate. So generally the show, you can compare a lot of things that take its runtime as just a very worse version of other thing. So I can't really give too much credit to the show, and right now I'm thinking it's bad. A little harsh words for it, but I kind of expect a little bit from predecessors of web manga adaptations that I did watch, being Tower of God and god of the high school, which tower god I thought was pretty cool. God of high school, which I talked about in my first and final impressions of summer, I thought was okay by the end. Alright, next we're going to talk about this one. I know a lot of people have not watched. This is a very under the radar show. It is Warlords Sigraphia or something. I don't know how to pronounce the last part of it, but honestly, it's pretty good for what it is. If you ever inquired to yourself, oh man, I really need a show about anime waifus in fighter jets. Ooh, this show got you. This show has finally landed for you. You know, you have the blonde hair waifu piloting, you know, a biplane with a shooter, you know. Honestly, the action, I think it looks nice. You don't really see a lot of airplane fights in anime, I would say. You know, it doesn't happen much, so I guess it's unique in a way, and, you know, it has waifus. So, you know, whatever. Waifus and fighter planes. You know, it sounds dumb. In execution, it's pretty fine, honestly. I think the characters are all pretty cute and charming, so at least lightheartedly, it's pretty good. And honestly, I think it's easy to sit through, as the characters are charming and the fights are actually done pretty well, and they're enjoyable enough. Again, nothing to preach home about, but for how little it's being looked at, I feel it deserves a little bit more for being a alright show. But after talking about a show that practically nobody knows, let's talk about the show that everybody knows. You know, the good old next shonen on the block, being Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought you all knew I was going to talk about it. What are my thoughts? Is it amazing? Is it I think it's I don't know. Again, I feel shonens. I'm not a shonen hater. Hear me out. I'm not a shonen hater. I haven't watched a lot of the long-running ones for say. Will I try to? Yes, I will definitely try sometime in the future. It just never really calls out to me immediately. And with the stuff that I have, you know, tried, there's like a few things that have turned me off. There's one I want to talk about, but I kind of want to leave it for a video. But there's a little thing I do call the shonen syndrome for the shonen action series, definitely. I think, you know, it's only absent maybe like a few things, and most of them are very undercover, and of the ones that I know, JoJo's probably the only one that doesn't fall to this flaw, I would say. I consider it a flaw, but others could consider it a blessing. But the shonen action syndrome is kind of these slapstick comedy elements thrown into a show that sometimes, you know, would be pretty good for it. Other times it's like, no, this does not work. There's one example I want to lambast, but I want to make a video on it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But this show, I don't think it horribly offends to those rules. Again, you know, it could easily keep a serious tone, as it's a pretty dark, you know, the curses thing, it's pretty gruesome, honestly. You know, you can have a nice dark looking show and be great, but then you have the main character talk about how much he loves Jennifer Lawrence as a joke, and it's not really a funny thing for me. Again, I feel things that do very centralized on the comedy can do it well within shonen series, but when it's an action shonen that should probably focus on its action, often the slapstick humor, when it's interjected, it's not interjected well. So that's like a big turnoff for me. It's something I really don't like to see. And this show, it doesn't horribly offend it as a lot as other shows in this, you know, shonen demographic. But it does offend it some, so that turned me off. Action, it's alright. It's pretty good. But nothing, I would say, really stands out of the water for anything. So already with that little bit of knock to it, I can't give it too much credit. And yeah, I just can't say that many good words for Jujutsu Kaisen, but definitely, it really isn't. It's pretty easy to watch for something that's coming out, so you can keep up to date on the show. And I don't feel it's offensively horrible or bad in any shape or form. Generally, if I had to rate it, I'd put it on the you're literally mediocre, right in the middle. I don't feel strongly one way or the other. But this one, I do feel strongly about. But I'm not going to talk too much about it. I feel I'm going to leave it for its own video. This is Talisnada. I be preaching this show. It's sleeper AF, alright? It's the most sleeper show of the season. Unless people are sleeping on it now, I feel like after the second episode, people are starting to talk about it, get people into it. It's definitely growing a little bit, but it definitely doesn't get as much attention as I really feel it should, as it's my favorite of this season. And I would go into details right here, right now, but of course, video, but also I feel I want to keep away from spoilers for all these shows, really, and just have a generalized thoughts on things without going into details of plots in any way. Talisnada is definitely one of those shows that gets a shock value out of you, as when I was just looking at the season cast for one of my videos, you could go check it out. I'll probably have stuff for it. I looked at Talisnada, I'm like, this doesn't look that interesting. And honestly, when you look at it, if you just look at the synopsis, you look into its advertising, it just looks like shitty My Hero Academia. That's a very honest look at it, but I'm telling you, it has way more, and I very much suggest you guys to watch the first episode, make it fully through, do not cut out at any point, because you may just be looking at me like a crazy person for a good amount of the runtime, just being like, no, this is a shitty My Hero Academia, why are you getting me to watch this? No, hold out, make it through that end of the episode, and then you'll kind of get what I'm saying at least. If you don't like it from there, go and drop it, but I feel a lot of people are really not looking at this, and when they actually see what does happen, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I did sleep on this. This is solid enough. But I really did become the preacher, as I think a lot of the elements on it is really nice. So right now, this is one of my favorite shows. Do try Talisnada. I may make a whole entire video about it. Just give that first step. Alright, to something else. One show that I feel is definitely overrated out of things that are airing is Over the Moon for You. Now, it has a dumb little rom-com, concept, and, sometimes the interesting twist can be very interesting, as, of course, Love is War is just a complete contrary thing to how, regular love is, where you want to confess to someone. Instead, it was, you don't want to confess to them, you want the person to confess to you, and that's the goal. This, it has a weird thing of, I'll go out with you if you marry me. It's dumb. You think they would explain it to maybe some degree to make it make sense in a way? It doesn't. It just wants you to go along with it. But, no knocks to it at this point. What you need is good comedy. If you have me laughing, good on you, I can like the show. And does it have me laughing? No, it has me like this. It has me like more dead than I seem in my videos, and like, bro, I try to act for my video. Really, it has me like this. That's really the moods for Over the Moon for You. It's really not that interesting. It's not getting any chuckle out of me. And the jokes feel like, oh yes, of course, hilarity ensues because of this. Oh man, I have a wife. I forgot about that. A lot of jokes feel very repetitive for something that's only gone on for 3 episodes at this point. And since it's going to be 12 episodes, unless they're really smacking some great jokes at the end, I don't think this show's going to get rated any higher as of my final thoughts. So yeah, this one was not that funny to me, so I can't rate it good. I don't think it's that good, to be honest. It looks nice though. So, you know, the comedy may be for you, so you can try the first episode, probably get a good sample of what it is. Second episode, you'll definitely know if you're going to like it or not. Alright, we've been talking a good amount. It's good old confession hour. Woo! Confession hour. I know you've all been hyped for this. What spice am I going to say now? Alright. So Lily, okay. That shit good. Oh man, you know, sometimes I'm like, you know, this show. Alright, let me pause for a moment. Let me just explain. For you guys that don't know, it's a show about teenage girls, you know, high neon colored hair, all that, super thick, you know, large pies, of course, you know, really fan servicing the hell out of it. They're all wielding huge weapons to fight these crazed alien machinery beasts that are in the show. And you're like, now that you heard it, you're like, wow, sounds pretty dumb. It is. Honestly, you know, it is. But what about you like? I don't know. I really like this show, and you know, it's hard to explain where you're like, yo, this shit hits, alright? But fan service, it's nice. It's animated. It's animated freaking beautifully. I don't know why. You know, they're just like, alright, what show we're going in, we're going to animate this, it's going to look amazing. And then that one person at the boardroom said, Solo Bouquet. The one with the thick ass girls fighting with huge ass weapons. We need that show looking gorgeous. And good old George, you know, CEO is like, you right. We gotta make this look spicy. And it looks goddamn spicy. I'm probably showing clips, you know, as I'm talking. Whew, it looks goddamn good. It has use of CGI. It's done super freaking well. It really gets a applaud for how well it's been incorporating CGI through its regular animation. It's looking amazing as hell. Why is it looking beautiful? I don't know. Story-wise, it's pretty bare bones. You know, it's like, alright, what story elements can I pick up the box and throw together? It's like, here, mash them together. It's pretty basic. It does the job. It has me entertained. And, ooh, that soundtrack too. The soundtrack is freaking great as well. A lot of things surrounding it are amazing. The concept, you're like, what the hell am I even watching? But then when you actually put it on a screen there, it's all going out. I feel it's hitting. I feel it's actually doing pretty good. Has me very entertained. Yeah, a little bit of talk on that show. You know, most people are like kind of looking at me, you know, kind of disgusted, like, he's probably freaking crazed closet weeb over there. Yeah, you know what? Probably am. As now, you know, I'm probably realizing the day you say Solo Bouquet, that shit hits, is the day you get confirmed as a degenerate weeb. And I'm fine with that because I'm enjoying the hell out of the show, and I'll admit to it. I'll make a video and I'll put it in the middle, probably earlier than the middle. What I gotta say, it's just how it is. Alright, I talked a good amount on that. I think I'll shift topic to the journey of Elaine. So this was the one I said, yeah, this one, it's probably going to smack. I'm probably going to like it. Is it fulfilling what I pretty much said? All the praise for it? Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Again, it's not everything I expected. There's definitely a lot of surprises that came with it. There's like a little bit of action. That was pretty cool. I didn't expect there to be action. It'd be very, you know, slice of lifey in a sense where you're not getting a crazy action scene. But first episode, they give you a nice little action scene, and you know, it's done well. Everything's animated nicely, I would say, in this show. and it's from a studio that I don't think really has a lot of stuff under its belt, so just having this kind of like come out under them, it looks really nice. Gotta give it a lot of credit. Story-wise, I think it's very unique. I don't know if I like it or not. I think I'm generally going to like it, but I don't think I'm going to call it perfect in any way. It's weirdly episodic, and there's weird little story beats that happen where you're just not expecting the story to go the way. Sometimes you're just expecting, you know, a nice ending to the story. And as episode 3, you just get hit with that episodic thing where it's like, you know, the end of this story was probably bad, but what am I saying to control what fate happens? And I'm like, oh, I was not going to expect that. I was expecting a happy ending. And then, you know, they hit you with the shit probably didn't go well after I left. Kind of crazy to see. Not what I expected, but I'm liking it. I generally enjoy the show. And, you know, if it looks up your alley, it's probably going to be up your alley to some degree, and you'll probably enjoy it as well. And, you know, I've been talking about bangers. Let's get one more out of the way. Kubernetes Drive. Whew. Now, this is some real spicy animation, I have to say. Solo Lily Bouquet, of course, is done gorgeous, but I would say in unique art styles, in a sense, Kubernetes Drive is really landing it. It has a nice neon-y, flashy vibes to it that I feel is really cool. It's like dark neon colors. You know, it's a dark, gloomy, futuristic city. Generally color design, a lot of their types of animation styles that I don't know how to explain it. I have clips for a reason that will be showing in front of me. Whew. Thank the Lord for those, because that will explain the point of, you know, just how crazy, how good some of these stuff looks. Story-wise, it's pretty solid. It's setting up for a lot of these things. It can be really cool action. This is just like one of those banger, cool-ass action. Just turn off your brain and really get to enjoy it. As a turn-off-your-brain show, I think this is landing as a 10 out of 10. But if you really want to, like, think analytically deep about it, it's still solid, I would say. Definitely a nice, fun watch. It's from the people who did Danganronpa's animation, which is definitely, you know, you'll see a lot of your unique kind of styles of, like, this 2D, 3D aspect. Not too much, as, you know, a lot of it was to stylize the game in a way to its animation. It has a few little elements to it that do show a little bit that, especially like with the stage coming down for the scenes. I feel that's cool. Has a lot of unique stuff to it. I'm generally enjoying it. Easy turn off your brain, 10 out of 10. Otherwise, just solid all around watch. Again, that's a lot of what I was going to talk about. I think we're going to slow down, get through these last few things. I bulk up a few. I'm going to put Ibukuro, West Park Gate, and Moriarty the Patriot. I don't have too much to say. I just think they are solid watches. Both are pretty grounded to reality. As Moriarty the Patriot is a historical thing. It's horror in a way, horror psychological. It's animated pretty nicely. It's nice colors and reds, the deep reds. Its atmosphere is done pretty well. I'm interested to see where it is. I just think it's solid. I don't think I have too much to say on it, though. Again, Ibukuro, West Park Gate, I don't think I have too much to say on it. It's very down to earth. It's just a gang story about this one gang and other gangs and stuff that surrounds actions that happen. And it's animated by the people who did Sing For Me Yesterday back in spring 2020, which I hated on that show, if you know from my hot takes video. That was a, you know, unpopular opinion, but there was nothing against the art style, and it has a similar art style to it. It just does have a little bit more flavorful action, I would say. So if you're like, Sing Me Yesterday, it looks nice, it's done well, I think you should go to Ibukuro if you want a more actiony sense of what they can do animation wise. And the story, it's solid. I think it's fine. Again, I can't say too much on it, I would say. No interesting take, not me just praising, oh my god, why does this show about the thick anime girls be hidden different? I don't have like that much to say on it, so I'll just leave it at that, as we only have a few more to go. And of course, I want to talk about that long light novel title show. There's like one every season, so of course this one is our Last Crusade, or The Changing of the World. I don't remember what it's called. I've been putting titles up at least when I'm talking about stuff. It's similar to, you know, Misfit of Demon King Academy. I think they're both done by Silverlink. I think Silverlink's been doing a lot of the light novel stuff. Or Production IG. I'm not sure. It's one of those two that, you know, be doing the light novels ones that are definitely guilty pleasure watches. And, yep, just like Misfit of the Demon King Academy, this is definitely a guilty pleasure watch. Its story's not incredible, but am I liking it? Yeah, I like its kind of cheesy romance. It's cute. I like it. Don't judge me that much, alright? I can like the crap I like. Just let me be who I want to be. Watch my crappy light novel shows and enjoying the hell out of them. It's just how I be sometimes. That may be the flaw in my character. Maybe if I took that out of my life, I'd be a whole changed man. I'll be great. I'll look like a 9 out of 10. I'll have, you know, a girlfriend. But no, let's be honest. Back to reality. I don't have a girlfriend. I look like a 5 out of 10 at best. And I watch the light novel shows, because those are all attached. As you know, you anime nerds. Because of course. And we're getting towards the end of the list. One last show really to talk about is The Day I Became a God. Definitely interesting because it's a PA Works original, and it seems like it could be something similar to Charlotte. I would say Angel Beats, but I have not watched Angel Beats, so I can't really say it's like it because I don't know what Angel Beats is like. But I assume it's kind of like Charlotte, and I assume since this is looking somewhat like Charlotte, it's the same. Whatever. If you've watched Charlotte, it looks like it's going to be another Charlotte, just put some different story, and it has similar writing styles, similar, like, you know, slapstick humor, and, you know, I feel it can hit the feels probably like, you know, Charlotte has done. If you've not watched Charlotte, you know, that comparison was horrible, but it's a cool concept of a god, you know, this pretty cool, funny god, you know, just coming down to this one dude and just being like, hey, the world's going to end in 30 days. Please enjoy your life, you idiot. And the dude's like, wait, but I'm studying for my exams. God's like, hell, no, stop. You're not even going to be able to live long enough to go to that college. Idiot. Stop it. You know, I think I just explained the show. I did all the acting. You're welcome. It seems pretty interesting. I want to see where it goes. I can't talk too much on it right now, as I feel other shows were able to solidly sink you in, while this one, you know, like Charlotte, I say, pads out. And like Charlotte changed a whole fucking ton of, like, the scope of it all throughout the show. And this could definitely change as well. I can definitely see that happening. So I don't want to say that this is going to be great or not, as definitely if you agree or disagree with, you know, the place of action, you can think one of these shows is the pinnacle anime to something that's and, you know, it's just how it is. That type of stuff. It's weird to see. I'm interested to see where this is. Hello, it is me from the future by maybe 3 days or so. I don't exactly remember, but I wanted to put in an extra little note into this video because I decided to watch just a little bit more stuff, in particular 2 shows. I also do want to note, it's in the video, you're here for the long run anyways. There was a lot of shows that I did omit. There was a Yuri one, I'm Standing on a Million Lives. There's a few others where I didn't really have anything to say at all, so I was just like, I'll cut it completely, I'm not even going to talk about it. But there are, when something was notable, either, you know, disappointing
or really interesting, I wanted to talk about it. And I did actually come across, out of the two I watched, one was Kuma Bear. That one was whatever. But the one I do want to talk about, and I regret waiting on this one, sleeping on it, is Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. And ooh, this show, it does hit. It's pretty much a comedy where the princess gets kidnapped by the Demon King and gets stuck in the castle, and what she decides to do is try to get some rest. And it's honestly freaking hilarious what she does. She's such a funny character. It will definitely give like Kana vibes from Kobayashi Dragon Maid. If you've watched that, you will know what I'm talking about. That's like the vibes I get, but it's definitely on the side of more safer humor. It is from shonen manga, so generally humor is definitely a little bit safer. You're not getting like really risky jokes, I would say, but there is, you know, some more crude comedy, I would say, and that I feel is done well as well. Horrible sentence structure, but whatever. I thought it was actually really funny. It got me laughing out loud a couple of times. I'm really liking it, so I did want to add it to the mix as something of note. Something I've really enjoyed. It's right up my alley, humor-wise. And, you know, it may not be for you. It could be for you, and that would be great. But back to the present. Two shows that I watched that you should probably avoid. King's Raid. Sucks ass, boring. Plot doesn't really make that sense. Just don't even consider it. Just push it away. Just don't give it any mind. I dropped it on that third episode before making this video, so yeah, I don't think it's that good. And one I'm still with is Rail Romance Q. It's literally only 3-minute episodes, so if you're going to waste your time on it, it's not that long of a waste of time. That's probably the best part of the show, as most of the stuff that happens is pretty incoherent, and it's just a weird show about lollies that relate to trains. Best thing about it is episode 3 gave me a train fact, that they sand the wheels so they don't slip off. Fun facts, you know, that it's definitely going to come up in trivia night, so at least I'm going to be like, thank you Romance Q for saving me Trivia Night Friday. Blessing in disguise. I don't know, it's anime, and that's all the credit I can really give it. But yeah, that's all the shows. That's all I wrote on this sticky note. We're done. Whew. Sit back, relax. You were already sitting back, relaxing. Hopefully you've been enjoying this video, as hopefully I've been keeping pretty energetic. I'm going at it, because I'm actually pretty hyped for, you know, making videos, and especially just keeping up with the first impressions, as I feel I had a lot talked about and a lot of cool things to say on a lot of these shows. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. So I don't want to ramble any longer, extend the goddamn run time of this feature-length short film right here. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting. Make sure, you know, you subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. I should say that at the start, but I don't care to force analytics in any way towards my favor, because I'm dumbass. Thank you again. You know, you could probably make a counter every time I say it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.